to my channel. So if you are new here, my name is Andrea and I'm a music photographer based in London, and I do videos mostly about that. For this video, as you can probably see by the title, I'm gonna be talking about the album covers that I've either photographed or designed these past years. Just a general overview. There's not too many, but there's quite a few, so I'm not gonna go super in depth on every single one of them, but let me know if there's a specific cover that you'd like me to do a dedicated video for. There's, I think one of the covers that I'm gonna talk about already has a video all about the process from start to finish, and I'm gonna leave the link for the video down below in case you're interested in seeing that. Here's a little background about me. I always really liked photography and Photoshop and design and all of that. I actually went to uni for graphic design, but I mostly work with photography now. But of course, those things can overlap a lot, and I feel like they do in my work. I think up to this day, my Facebook page that I don't really use anymore, but I had a Facebook page that I started with my work, and it was called Andrea Lemos Designs, because that was mostly my thing. Like, I've always loved album covers, especially even like book covers and posters, but mostly album covers for me have always been my main interest, and I've been designing them just for fun for years and years. I'm gonna pop up some of them here. I feel like most of the time, or maybe half the time, the images that I used to use were just from the internet. But then I think gradually I started to incorporate my own photography into works, and then it would be a mixture between my own photos and photos from the internet, and then gradually became 100% my work. Here's a tip for you if you're starting off. It can be very overwhelming sometimes to create a cover from scratch, so just gradually find certain images that you like online and work with them, change them quite a bit, but use them as your source material, and it might be a little bit easier to train those muscles before you actually get to create a cover from start to finish. So my whole journey with designing covers has been quite gradual. Like I said, I used to do them for fun, and then my first physical cover that I ever held in my hands was this one here. This is kind of old. I'd say this is maybe 5 years old or something, maybe more. Again, another good tip, I got this cover made as part of this contest, because it can be hard to actually see your work being pressed into vinyl for many reasons. First of all, it's expensive. A lot of the times releases are done just online. Even though you get to design the cover, you don't get to hold it and stuff. So basically I did this through a contest. It's called the Secret 7. I don't know if you've heard of it. And I'm also gonna leave them linked down below in case I am not remembering things right, so you can like fact check me. But from what I remember, they released 7 tracks from 7 different artists and released 100 copies of each track. So 700 7-inch vinyls for 7 different songs, if that makes sense. And they open up this sort of contest where you can submit your designs for the different tracks. And they're all anonymous and they're all different. So you have 700 different designs by different people. I think they can sometimes have more than one design per person, but usually it's like 1 design per person. And then they auction it off for charity. And I bought my own because I really wanted it. This one was for LORDE's single Team. So you can see here. And when you bought it, you wouldn't even know the track that you bought it for. So you would see it like this on the shelf, and this info card would be hidden. Once you bought it and like got home, whatever, you would open it and you would see what was inside. I obviously knew this was my design because I designed it, so it was no surprise. And a little bit about this design. This was done in my dorm room in my first year in London, I think. And this is my actual hand, and this is a can of beans, I think it was. So very resourceful. Basically, I have this thing where it really bugs me, like the amount of stuff you waste. I bought this can of beans, and then you have this whole container that you just throw away. And you see this a lot with like pasta sauces and stuff. They come in these nicely designed glass containers, and right now I have like a little plant. I don't think you can tell because most of my plants are in my room, but I love plants. I basically am using one of those glass containers from a salsa jar to propagate one of my plants. But anyway, let's not get too off track. My point is just that sometimes it's fun to give certain objects a second life before you throw it away or just keep it forever. And that's what I did here. And it worked well, you know? So yeah, this was very exciting, and I love LORDE, so this was really, really cool. I'm gonna try and go chronologically. I don't know how accurate this is gonna be, but this is somewhat the order that all of these things happened on. So we got the LORDE one, and then there's this one, which was a little bit unexpected, because usually the way that things come to be with album covers, you usually do them as a commission. An artist will get in touch with you and they'll say what they want, and you go back and forth until you find the final one. And again, let me know in the comments if you want a video all about how to design an album cover. But basically, this was a little bit of a different case because this image already existed. And in fact, this image was like my profile picture on Facebook, I think. Just like that. Or maybe they cropped it a bit, I don't remember. Or maybe it was just like this. And Baby Strange, this really cool band from, I think they're from Glasgow. They're definitely from Scotland. They asked if they could use it for their California Sun single. So we went from there. This was a bit of an unexpected thing. This is I think it was a self-portrait that I took. But yeah, it's really cool. It has a yellow vinyl. There's the little face again. So that's the second cover I think that I've ever made. Third, I think it would be this one, and it's a little cassette. Look how cute. These are Nightshades. I'm gonna put a little overlay photo of it because I think the glare is sort of getting on the way. But basically, I took this picture here at their house, and it was one of the first shoots that I did in London, I think. Actual portrait shoots that weren't like at a live concert. So this was a pretty new world for me. I really love this shoot. To this day, it's one of my favorites, and it was one of the very first ones. So yeah, sometimes that happens. This shoot I did at their house. They got in touch with me and said that they wanted to take some portraits, and they actually were really helpful. They helped me set up the whole thing. Basically, they asked a friend for a black backdrop. They helped me with all of that. Yeah, and it was a pretty perfect match in aesthetic because the photo that they wanted was pretty much exactly what I did, shot against a black solid backdrop. So it was a pretty good match if you ask me. I don't have many cassettes. I think I have like maybe 4 or so. So yeah, very special. After that one, I think the next one in line would have to be the Giant Party single. I don't have a physical copy of it, but I will include a photo of it here. This photo was taken from a photo shoot we did in this not abandoned, what's the word for it? It was basically a place that used to be a prison. I think it's called like a guardianship. I'm gonna Google and put it here, what it means. From what I remember, it's basically when you're allowed to live in buildings that would otherwise be abandoned. And it's usually like government-owned buildings, so you get to rent them for cheapish and live there so that the buildings are safe and not abandoned. I think they had a friend that lived there, and we just went there to shoot some photos. And we shot some in the cells. It was quite weird. I think if people weren't living there, it would feel quite scary. But I think the photos came out great. I'll include another photo of us in the actual cells. I don't know if you'll be able to tell that we are in a cell. I only took the photo and then they designed it. They added the little like red splotches on their face, which I really like. But the photo originally was mine. I can also include it here so you can see like the before and after of what they did. And actually this brings me back. I just forgot. So remember when I was talking about the very first single that I designed? I think on the year after this one, I also submitted a design and it also got printed. But I didn't manage to buy it. There's only one and I didn't manage to buy it. But I'll include a picture of what it was here. And for this one, it wasn't my own photo. I think it's a mixture between my own photo and a photo I found on the internet. And it reminded me of this one because I also like blotched the face. I love blotching faces. But anyway, back to the other covers. So after the Giant Party cover, I think, and I don't know if I'm gonna leave this in the video or cut it out, but I think I'll leave it. Basically, I used to be in a band. I'm not in a band anymore. I used to play the synth, and I helped design our vinyl cover. I took these pictures. Basically, this is me and my other band member, and here are the other two. And it's a pretty nice little thing. It's just a single. It has, I think, 4 tracks in it. We made 250 of them, and then we cut the sleeve like that, so it has a nice little interesting shape. But yeah, I mean, I don't really want to talk too much about it, so let's just move on. The next cover in line, I think, would be Kelsey's Reckling single cover. I think it's a single. Basically, this was also taken from a shoot that we did together at my house. There's actually a video. Forgot. Yeah, there's actually a video on the shoot as well on the channel. I'll leave it linked down below. I think it also kind of covers the whole process of it. You can actually see me taking the photos. It was in my old flat. I used to take loads of photos in my old flat. On this one, I think I only did 1 or 2 photo shoots because of the pandemic. So yeah, I haven't had people over, of course, but basically there's a video on the channel if you want to see. And fun fact, that guitar that she's with is actually my guitar. I think she forgot to bring hers or something like that, so we used mine. And yeah, this is actually also one of my favorite shoots. We got so many different photos out of this shoot, even though we only shot at my place, and I really liked them. If you don't know about this, I have this monthly collectible print project where I release a print pretty much every month, usually like a small little collectible print that you can collect every month. And the one for March, I believe, is going to be one of Kelsey, and I'm really excited to share it with you guys. I think it also features the guitar. It's from this shoot, so keep your eyes peeled for that. I usually release them first on Instagram, and then sometimes I talk a little bit about them here on YouTube too, but definitely go check my Instagram if you're interested in the little prints. And yeah. So similarly to my shoot with Kelsey, I also did a shoot with Truces, and I also have a video. I don't know why I thought that I only had 1 video about the covers on my YouTube channel. I actually have 3. I have Kelsey's, I have Truces, which I'm going to talk about next, and I also have Pond, which I'm going to talk about after Truces. So I'm going to leave these all linked down below in case you're interested. So the next one that I designed was this single cover for Truces. This was also a very interesting shoot. This is one of the few photos of the shoot that are not in black and white, because if you know my work, most of my work is always in black and white, and every now and then I'll add a little bit of color to it. But yeah, so this one has color because we really liked the moody sort of teal, green, dark, foresty colors in the photo, so we kept it. And this was actually shot in a graveyard at dusk, and it was actually it was, you know, mildly life-threatening, but also worth it. I also have a print with them, but it's back from July. It's also on the website if you want to check it out. It's a colored image that I made of them. And for this shoot, we shot half of it at their house and then the other half at the graveyard because we wanted a lot of variety and we wanted that spooky element that I think would be easier to achieve in an actual graveyard. And they are great. You should check them out. I'm gonna link all the artists below. There's gonna be a lot of links, I just realized. But I have a browse around them if you're interested. So the last 2 covers that I'm gonna talk about are here. Let me just grab them. This one, if you've been subscribed to my channel for a bit or follow me on Instagram, you probably know about this already because I did talk a lot about it when it first came out. This is Pond's live session album, and this photo was shot also at my old flat in London, the same place that I shot Kelsey as well. And yeah, this was a really cool moment. I've been a fan of Pond even before I came to London, so to get to work with them was a dream come true. They're super nice. And yeah, this album is basically a collection of their songs performed live because they usually perform them quite differently sometimes to the album version. So this is like a nice little treat if you're a big Pond fan because you get to hear the songs that you know and love in a bit of a different way. So it's quite nice. And yeah, I actually did many different colorations for this photo. I might include some of them here so you get to see. And then the final one that they chose was this one. And yeah, again, there's a whole video all about this. I go super in detail. There's some behind the scenes shots too if you're interested. It's linked down below so you can see the whole process. And kind of going along the lines of Pond, the next cover that I'm going to be talking about is from Gum's album. So in case you don't know, Jay Watson, he's in Pond, he's the one behind Gum, he's also in Tame Impala and all of that, so pretty exciting stuff. This is his solo project. I believe Elliot of Full Real kind of designed the front cover if I'm not mistaken. I also have a video with Elliot and Full Real in my channel about a shoot that we did in case you're interested. Basically just go watch all my videos then you'll see. But my design is actually not on the very front cover, it's on the sleeve, so when you take the cover out, here's the sleeve, there's some beautiful photos. And then on this side, here's a photo that I took of them performing live in London. This original photo was in black and white, and then they just edited it on top a little bit to match the coloration and the design that they wanted. So yeah, pretty exciting stuff if you ask me. And there are possibly a couple more album artwork projects on the way, on the go, in the making. So let me know if you enjoyed this video, and I can make a follow-up one once there's hopefully more album covers that I can talk about, that I've designed and stuff like that. And let me know what you thought of this video. Again, let me know if there's any cover that you would like me to go into more depth about. Let me know what you'd like to see next. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it, and subscribe for more, and I'll see you on my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye.